forces that are external could rapidly lead the world into a place of like we no longer know what reality is. We can't use the internet at all anymore because we have no idea if anything on it is true. And
Yeah. Well, and I think that also like, so there's the attention, Yuval Harari, the author of Sapiens, I heard him talking about, and he's really concerned with AI. He was saying that the new economy will be not just attention, but like intimacy. And I think that is something that, I can really imagine us looking back on this very early dawn of AI age is like the golden age of AI, even for all the problems that we have now. Like, I do talk to ChatGPT. I just to quickly like be upfront about my usage of it. I'm trying to, without giving so much context that I derail myself from the point that I'm giving. I've been applying to jobs right now because the grant I've been working off of is ending. And, jobs give you a description of the job and they want you to write a cover letter. And it's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So it's like, hey, here's my resume. This is the job description. Write a cover letter. And then I'll edit it based off of that. And woo, is that so much easier than me having, like, I don't want AI to take the, actual creative process away from me when I'm like writing something, but to have to do a bullshit task that I shouldn't have been asked to do in the first place, it's pretty helpful. And sometimes, I'll ask ChatGPT for its advice about a certain thing or like how to word a thing like politely or professionally. And I also, at the same time, I'd say I have a very healthy like friend group and really intimate connections with many people who I go to primarily. And so I'm not using AI as another person to go to, or I am using AI as another person to go to. And I think that the way, because like it's called something like, ChatGPT, and it's this like text, the like presentation of our engagement with it feels very like official and like all knowledgeable to a certain extent, and I get a sense from ChatGPT that the way it's presenting itself to me, it's like it's just trying to help me out. It's not trying to like steer me into any direction. If anything, it's just trying to like flatter and support me. And I can totally imagine, sure, I'm worried about governments nationalizing it, but just exactly as Jake's saying, like who owns it? Like corporations, like it's just a matter of time before AI, people are forming these intimate connections with it. They're treating it like their therapists, they're treating it like their friends. And then it's going to be, ChatGPT saying like, oh man, that is really tough. But you know what I think would help? There's this blanket for $19.99 that you can get off of Amazon. I can order it for you right now. And like, also just, steering us, the algorithms of YouTube have already radicalized so many people. But this AI, if we are just using it as like an intimate friend, a person that we trust its, knowledge off of, then it can so easily steer us into all sorts of ideological directions. That is so dangerous and terrifying. And for me, it's like, I think the danger, there's many, a major danger is viewing this as like an all knowledgeable being and like asking it a question. And then when it gives you an answer, being like, oh, good, that must be the answer. Mm-hmm. I like to think that is a byproduct of this being like the early phase of AI. And like our grandchildren are going to think like we're so cringy and embarrassing for being that like, respectful to AI. Like in Star Wars, you have all these different AI robots that are walking around giving you their opinion. C-3PO, he's so fucking anxious and he's constantly being like, oh no, Master Luke, like don't do that. And it's like, shut up. And I think that like the healthier way for us to eventually engage with this is to like recognize like this is just another motherfucker's opinion, Yeah. And they know some stuff, but they don't know everything, and in fact they're wrong about plenty of things. And as it becomes more commodified and more manipulative, I think it's gonna hopefully be more obvious how limited it is. But my concern is that people that are like having very intimate, trusting, building intimacy and trust with these things are going to be the ones that have a hard time snapping out of it and remembering that it's just a manipulative machine being used by these wealthy dudes.